Hi, it's Nadine from Sachiko Studio and welcome to Module 1 of my online photography workshop. In today's workshop, we'll be going over photographing inanimate objects. That is, objects that are not living, both big and small. I will be covering the photography on those objects today. And before you push skip on this segment and go to the next one, please keep in mind that this segment is a foundation for all the other segments. This is the foundation of being a good people photographer, a good selfie photographer, and being an arty photographer. So stay with me, and here we go. All right, guys, in this module, Module 1, I'm going to be going over photographing something small and something big, like real big, like a car. So we're going to start with a little bitty object right now. And remember, this is the foundation for all other things that you're going to photograph in your life. If you can master this, that means you have a really solid foundation and you are set up for success photographing everything else. People, animals, nature, whatever. But these are the basics, and we're going to start out with photographing jewelry. Just small little things. I've got a pair of earrings and I've got a necklace, and these are actually pieces from a recent shoot that I'm just wrapping up right now, and I took on a product shoot. I'm going to walk you through my thought process on how I shoot jewelry. And so number one, you have to think about your lighting. So if you're at home, you got to think about where you can get your best light source. And for me, I am a natural light photographer, and if you think about it, any light modifier that you ever use in your whole entire life, whether it be a softbox or a flash or whatever, they all try to mimic the sun. So what better light to use than the sun? So I'm a purist, just use window light, please. And so number one, the lighting. Number two, what you're photographing. I'm photographing jewelry. I have two colors. I have a silver and I have a pink. Is it clean? Yes. Does it have some kind of unique quality? Yeah, it sparkles. That's cool. Number three, you have to think about textures. How can I make this photo more interesting? Sure, you have a really pretty piece of jewelry, but what other elements can you bring into the photo to make it look more interesting? And for me, I love using some things to help accentuate the product. So I'll show you my basic kit right here, and this is what I actually use for the shoot. Number one, a marble coaster. I picked this up at Target. A wooden box. I think this is like acacia wood, but it's just this gorgeous wood. I love, love, love it. I have a cupcake plate, like a cake plate, and then a legit cake plate, but like a small one. And you see they're clean. They're clean. I've washed them. They're shiny. And I also have these faux rose petals right here. And these rose petals are pretty nice. They're shaped kind of cool. Like maybe I could do something like this and put the jewelry inside the petal. That's a thought. And so that's actually one of the shots I did do for that shoot. And we're going to do that today and I'll show you. But all these things have a texture. They also have a color. And if you think about the colors, what color is your item? If you're planning an outfit and you have pink, a lot of times gray goes with pink. So hey, doesn't that look nice? Like gray plate, pink jewelry, and silver and pink is very elegant. So you have to think about how the colors will play with each other on set. So, and then also you've got to think about what's trending right now, and really trendy is acacia wood and marble. And so think about all those things before you even start taking photos. Think about what elements can you bring into the photo for it to be pretty dope. So once you have your dope set up, then you can move on to picture taking and composing your shot. And that is the other element, which is the most important element, is how you frame your image in the camera or in your cell phone. And so I'm going to show you what these photos will look like in my cell phone as I'm shooting them. So here we go. First things first, I want you to find
the light in the room. Turn off the overhead lights and open the windows and let all the light in. After that, you want to make sure the light is shining down on the surface you're going to be doing the shooting on. In this case, it's this handmade wood table right there, and I'm just angling it so the light hits it perfectly. And get your hair out of your face, ladies, because I'm going to be doing a lot of top-down shots, and you'll see what that means in just a moment. But just make sure your hair stays out of the way so it doesn't get in the camera. So the theme on this shoot is for a kids jewelry company, and so it's fun, it's feminine, so I'm using props to kind of match those adjectives. As you can see, I'm shooting top down, so my camera's always hovering directly over the items. And right now I'm utilizing the rose petals, and I just do a quick variation of that shot where I kind of take the rose petals away and utilize that hexagon marble coaster. Next, what I'm doing is working on the silver and gray color, and it's on a cake plate, but I'm not using the full part of the cake plate. I'm only using part of it, so it kind of looks like a semicircle, and that creates more visual interest in the shoot. And then just a variation, play again with the rose petals, and you don't need to place them, you can just throw them onto the surface to make it look a little bit more natural. While you're watching me set up for another shot, I wanted to go over the theme of a shoot. Just because I'm shooting little feminine items doesn't mean that this is only for shooting feminine items. If you wanted to shoot guns or knives, it's the same concept. So think of items that would make the shoot a little bit more masculine, like shooting on like a nice dark stone surface or like a scratched up table, and just bringing elements like bullets into the shot. I mean, that's such a huge contrast from like rose petals, but just so you know, this isn't limited to like girly rose petal stuff. The next shot I'm setting up for is something that I usually use for babies. It's really funny. I position babies like this, and same concept with the jewelry, just like kind of my yin and yang pose, I call it. This last shot I'm setting up for is a change in camera angle. So instead of top down, I'm just kind of going frontwards facing, and I'm turning on portrait mode. And we'll go over this more in the other modules, but this is portrait mode, just straight on and blurring the background. And that wraps up the live shoot segment. Hey!
Okay guys, we've reached the last part of this module, and we are gonna go photograph something big. A car! And I love cars, and I do cars and people photo shoots all the time. So I'm gonna walk you through how I plan a car shoot. Number one, location. We've got to find a location that doesn't have a lot of environmental disturbances. Environmental disturbances could be anything from police, people walking around, ugly surroundings like, I don't know, it's dirty, graffiti. Sometimes graffiti is cool. But in general, I try to find something that won't distract us looking at the car. And so here at the studio, I have an alleyway in the back of my building, and it's a very plain color. Not a lot of cars go by. There's no cops, there's no people. You know, it's just a super simple place to shoot, and it has really clean lines. And what I mean about clean lines is there's a lot of vertical and horizontal lines. And I love that because that kind of plays into being creative. And we'll talk about that more in Module 4 in terms of being creative and leading lines, but that's just a little hint on why I chose the alleyway for the car. So I'm gonna take you outside right now, and we're gonna do a quick shoot of my car. Let's go.
Here we are in the back of my alleyway behind the studio, and look at all the leading lines. Look at the gutter, look at the brick lines, look at the repeating windows, look how I place the car in between windows. All of those lines lead your eyes to the car. And number 2, position your wheels so we can see them. Watch how I turn the wheels. It looks so lame like this. Please don't do that. Show me the wheels. So just position it based on where you're standing with the camera. When you photograph the car, be mindful of if you're standing or you're sitting. Look at how it is sitting, and this is standing. So look, on the left is standing and on the right is sitting. They give different angles in the car. It's really up to you what angle you like. I prefer sitting like that. And also look at the junk in the alley on the right side. Ugh, I don't want that in my shot. So look on the left, and then on the right, pretty. So just think about that. Cut out the distractions. And now I'm going to walk you through how I'm shooting, and you'll see I kind of make my way around the car, and sometimes I shoot high, sometimes I shoot low. I like to try a variety of different vantage points to see what works with the car. And sometimes I'll get really creative and go on the ground. But the thing is you need to make sure that you're rotating around your object and going high, medium, and low, and even like portrait style like that. Just to get creative. You don't want to just stand in one place, with your camera on landscape mode. Lastly, you won't always be able to get every angle of the car. As you can see here, when I tried to shoot the back of the car, there's a bunch of visual disturbances in there. So I chose a different angle and I turned the wheel, make sure you see the wheel, and I chose an alternative angle, and I'd probably have to turn the car around and move it so I can get the back from a different vantage point. But that wraps up our live shoot of the car in the alley.
And now it is time for this week's photo challenge. I'd like you to send me your best shot from what you learned today. Take a picture of something small or big, just not living, just something inanimate. It doesn't matter. It could be food, it could be jewelry, it could be cars, it could be shoes. Oh, that would be dope if you sent me shoes. But just email it to me at the email address right here and with the subject Photo Challenge Module 1, and I will get it. And I will post my favorite from the week every Friday on Instagram. And anybody who I post will receive a gift certificate to Sachiko Studio. And I am happy to tag your Instagram handle. If you are on Instagram, please send me your handle with your email. And the most important part is to send me one photo. As being a professional photographer, you always have to choose the best of the best. And what I mean by the best of the best is your best one photo. Not two, not three, 5. No, just one. Your best shot. And if you want to include a little story about it, that would be dope too. And it might help you win something. So if you're watching this video between now and Friday, April 10th, 2020, you could do the photo challenge anytime between those times, and I'll be posting the winners every Friday. I hope that's clear enough. I will write the info down at the bottom as well, and you can grab my email address again at the bottom of this video. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching Module 1, guys, and happy shooting, and I will see you in the next one.